Chase Elliott wins his first race of the season. Tires and lug nuts continue to be an issue, and Denny Hamlin's craptacular season continues. All that and more coming up next. What is going on, everybody? If I haven't earned your subscription, hopefully today is the day I will earn that subscription. All right, Chase Elliott benefits from a caution that disrupts the lead of the leaders Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman, who definitely had really good cars and definitely had a chance of winning this race, but the caution fell Chase Elliott's way, and he definitely, after that restart, took off. Him and Ross Chastain battled, then there was another caution, but he eventually got the lead, and when he did, he set sail and was gone. So first win of the season for Chase Elliott. He is pretty well, points-wise, dominated this season, but didn't have a win, so he finally gets that win. So definitely a good race for Chase Elliott. Let's look at that top 10 real quick, because there were some surprises throughout the field. The biggest surprise, of course, Ricky Stenhouse with a second place. That team's best run of the year. JTG Doherty definitely needed that finish. Ross Chastain continues his great season so far, finishing third. Definitely making his name known as a championship contender with Chase Elliott and William Byron. Christopher Bell finishes fourth. He continues to be on that hot streak after he started the season off poorly. Alex Bowman, of course, probably one of the better cars today. Finishes fifth. Disappointing for him because he definitely feels like he could win that race. In fact, Greg Ives said he could. I felt like they should have won that race on Twitter. Kyle Larson finishes sixth, recovering from a crash where he damaged the car. Kyle Busch finishes seventh. Chris Buescher is eighth. Good run for the pole sitter, Chris Buescher. Kevin Harvick finishes ninth, and Eric Jones is 10th. Justin Haley, 11th, and Martin Truex got into it there at the end with Ross Chastain and finishes 12th. Chase Briscoe, Daniel Suarez, Cole Custer finish out your top 15. So the two real big controversies from this race were on the last lap, Ross Chastain basically threw a block on Martin Truex, and Martin Truex wrecked himself basically because he didn't like the block. And then they had some words afterwards. To me, it's a non-issue. It was a racing deal. I don't feel like really in that situation Ross did anything wrong. It was the last lap. He threw a block. A lot of people have done it, but because so many people like Martin Truex, and I understand that, you like a guy, you saw him basically have to wreck because the guy threw a block, so, I mean, it is what it is. It really just depends on who you pull for. But me personally, I just think it was kind of nothing wrong there, and I like both of those drivers, like, to be totally honest. I just thought it was a big non-issue in my opinion, but that is that. The other issue was tires and lug nuts. Once again, the tires and lug nuts were an issue. The single lug, several times, there's a magnetic thing inside that gun, but several times today that lug nut fell out, and also we had several loose wheels, and the tire itself had a lot of fall off. A lot of people were saying that, but that could be excessive camber, that could be anything. But me personally, I liked the tires having a lot of fall off because it added an extra layer of strategy. But definitely they need to get the lug nut thing under control. I'm not going to harp on that because we've talked about it all season. But if there is a magnetic device in the gun that is supposed to hold the lug nut and the lug nut is falling off, how is that possibly the tire changer's fault? That is more of NASCAR's fault. So why are you suspending guys for 4 races if it's a faulty piece of equipment that you provide the teams? All right, now on to a good race, a bad race. It was a bad race for Ryan Blaney. He won a stage, but then he got into some trouble. Ended up a few laps down. Finished well back in the pack. It was a bad day for RCR with the exception of the Petty GMS car of Eric Jones, of course. But all of RCR just looked off, completely off speed-wise. Just looked completely lost for the first time all season. RCR looked like it just was not in the race. They were out of the ball game from jump. So it was definitely a bad race for them. And finally, it was a bad race for Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has a win this season, and that is basically the only thing that has gone right. Because after leading a good chunk of this race, Denny Hamlin wrecked several times, just had several issues. It has just been that kind of season for Denny Hamlin, but he does have that one win, so he is at least probably locked into the playoffs as long as we don't get a bunch more first-time winners. Of course, Chase Elliott was a first-time winner this season, so that just depends on how that plays out. But let's look at the points now that I've mentioned that. Chase Elliott, of course, with his first win, is leading the points overall all the way through now. It's Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman, Ross Chastain, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell make up your top 10. But then it starts to get interesting here from 11th to 16th. 11th is Eric Almirola, 12th is Kevin Harvick, 13th Chase Briscoe, 14th, and right now the last man in on points would be Eric Jones, because Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick at 15 and 16 would be bumped out of the playoffs because Austin Cindric fell out of the top 16 and he would be in with a win. And of course, the aforementioned Denny Hamlin would also be in with a win. So that would bump out right now Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick. So I'm not going to harp on it. I'm going to spare you today, Al. But that's how big that Bristol race was for Tyler Reddick. All right, that is all I've got for you. If you made it this far, feel free to subscribe down below. If you got a comment, leave it down in the comments section. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.